Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Daily Radar, where your fellow foiled friend scans the entire globe for what may or may not be artificial and nefarious activity. We go through satellite radar, as well as the Zippity Zip Zap radar, aka NEXRAD, to better understand atmospheric and environmental conditions in full context. Before we get started, there are a few things that you should know. Number one, I repeat, I am not a meteorologist, but I am a tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist, which obviously makes me far more qualified to analyze atmospheric conditions. Number two, videos are fairly short, but feel free to skip ahead to any section you're most interested in. And lastly, if you'd like to see these daily radar videos, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. Otherwise, this video is about to reach a paywall, and we'll pause right now. Now. Okay. All right, let's get started. Good evening. It is December 29th, about 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I have spent probably the last 6 hours making phone calls back to back because over in Washington State, there are a ton of daycare and learning center facilities that are government subsidized that are considered tier 3 of excellence, and I'm calling every single one of them. And unfortunately, it seems that the issue in Minnesota is continuing in other states. I'm going to have to finish up the rest of the phone calls tomorrow. It'll probably take me another 5-6 hours, but I'm calling all 259 of them. And yeah, it's disappointing. I've been threatened with lawsuits by people who claim to be lawyers. Probably aren't. What are you going to sue me for? I'm just calling for a quote. You know what I can't stand about making phone calls like that is I have to use my phone, my cell phone, and the radiation. Call me right now. So I guess one of them's calling me back. I use a burner phone though. You can use a burner on your actual phone, which is nice. I want a burner option on a landline, ideally. Maybe I could use Google Voice, actually. Maybe I should make my calls with Google Voice because then I could be hardwired. Anyway, that was fun. In other news, the NOAA slider. It's here. It's up. I haven't touched any of it because in the past when it would appear, it would disappear. So let's see. Can we zoom in? Oh, dang. Wait, hold on. Can we? Okay. We can zoom in. All right, now let's see. Can we go back in time? I'm not going to pause this while I do it. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And then let's skip 180, every 180 minutes. Well, so far so good. It hasn't turned black. But then this just went back. What's happening? Let's go easy on it. Let's do every 480 minutes. Come on. One picture every 8 hours. Yeah. Maybe it's not ready for that yet. And it's gone. Yeah, I even changed my VPN a couple of times. It's just not working, but at least I got to see it a little bit. All right, I got my backups already pulled up anyway, so let's get going with the show. Ooh, lots of trails in here. And remember, every single glow you see here is a NEXRAD radar station. The official statement is that it's just simply Doppler radar helping us track weather systems and give us forecasts, things like that. The conspiracy theory is that these towers are equipped with technology to allow us to manipulate the weather in various ways. One of those ways being that it can microwave certain areas of the atmosphere to the point of creating high levels of heat, which can cause heat waves, excessive drought. Of course, you can also, by creating massive temperature swings, you can create severe winds. And also, by creating a heated area like that, you can create a high pressure zone. High pressure zones deter low pressure systems, aka storms. So if a storm is traveling, like let's say it would have normally gone like here, well, you can put a bunch of high pressure zones up here, or like a big high pressure zone here, and it would have gone up, but instead it's gonna do this. And then you could even put a high pressure zone here, and then it would be encouraged to do that. You could also surround it. Theoretically, this is all theoretical, conspiratorially theoretical. That was a pretty significant storm heading through there. There were... Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that. Yeah, that's where the tornadoes were. Look at this. Look at this giant wave. Holy macaroni. Look at that. Wow. That was that cold front coming in. It's at night. During the day. Nighttime. Yeah, there's that super severe storm. Actually, let's look at that. Let's look at that. Have you seen anything? We'll zoom in, but I'm not seeing any of that crazy rippled radar. So that's good. I mean, we have a natural cold front coming in. We have some towers that aren't transmitting and then start transmitting to the server. Ooh, Southern Florida had some of that crazy zip-zappery last night, possibly due to the wildfire smoke coming down to ground level, because those kind of particulates will sink down lower at night. This area is still glowing like the 4th of July. Tower came back online. All right, let's zoom in. Let's do a little zoomy McZoomers. I'm going to pay attention to the far western states. We can make this go a little faster. Yep, that's glowing. Wait, what was that? Why did that happen? Oh, that tower. Stop transmitting. Still glowing. Now when you see that, they like to say it's birds, but regularly we click on birds and there's none over there at that timestamp. Now there were some here for part of the night. I could have maybe added to the green, but so many times we see that exact signature, no birds present. Yeah. They were there at that time though. La 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 la. Southern California, that's the only place you see those zip zaps 24/7, 365. It's the only place in the country that does that, at least, but it is the normal amount that I'm used to seeing there. I'm not seeing any of that flame-like radar that would indicate crazy, crazy winds, unusual weather coming in. Remember when I said that? It happened again in that time frame. It's nuts. I shouldn't be able to do that. Meow, 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 meow. Those of you who are new, just be aware that you are also getting included in the show. It's a musical. It's not a show. It's a musical. You've signed up for a musical. Lots and lots of trails mixed in here. I can tell. Ooh, wait. What was that? All right, we're gonna pull up. We're gonna look at that with a tighter time frame so we get more frames. I want to see more. So there's some rippled radar on either side. Now, seeing that once, I'll let it get by. But if it happens multiple times, that's when I start to get a little suspicious. Yeah, I got that stuff going on in Florida, but again, they do have some wildfire smoke. Meow, 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 meow. Oh man, what a monster that was. Holy macaroni. Look at this giant system. You know, you see this on a smaller scale when there's a storm. As it lets go of its rain, you'll see it kind of do this wave as the rain is done falling from the sky, all the moisture's gone. You're seeing like a giant version of that. And it all just kind of appeared. Boop, boop, boop. It's your lemon number one. Gotta work it. Now, we covered this static stuff in the previous show. The fog at the tide was actually over there, not where the stargazing is. You gotta work it. You gotta work it. Yeah, lots of trails in here. I can tell from how it's precipitating. What a chaotic area here. I want to see how the pressure was moving at the time and the temperature. Powerful, powerful. Look at this thing. It's like a giant, the whole thing's rotating. It's like a system the size of our country. These areas are still zip-zapping. I've been having weird dreams the last couple of nights. Have you guys? Weird dreams. I was back in my old college apartment, but like they had renovated it and there were so many other rooms. Kind of ominous feeling. All my dreams are pretty ominous feeling. What was I doing? Oh yeah, check out the old tornado system. Let's go to more frames, shorter amount of time. Let's do it. Oh no, we got it. I need to do more. 'Cause I can turn back time. Gosh, look at that. The ratio. I mean, look how much of this area is red. Small area. I mean, it's like 90% red in these areas. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that, especially going on for that long. My goodness. Oof. Right over here, right over Indiana. And there were several areas of rotation here at the time, actually, before it was heading into Indianapolis last night. But there's only one. Yeah, it was just at that time. All right. All right, let's check out the extreme warnings. Actually, we're going to check out all the weather warnings for the continental U.S. For all parts of the U.S., we will. As we speak, I am still stretching out my toes. Remember how I told you I kicked that door frame? It's been like 5 weeks, guys. I think these toes are probably broken. But, I'm just trying to heal them on my own, I guess. 3 of them. 2 of them are mostly okay as of this week. But I've got 1 left. Oof. I'm trying to, like, bend it. Anyway, rip current here along the eastern edge of Florida, just like yesterday or the day and the day before. Severe freeze watch in central and northern Florida and southeastern Georgia. Northern Georgia, you guys have a fire weather watch, likely due to winds and low humidity and gusty winds. We'll go up the coast. In western North Carolina, we've got moderate and severe wind advisories, high wind warnings, actually, and moderate cold weather advisory. Over in Virginia, we also have the cold weather advisory, wind advisory, severe wind warnings. Along the entire north and central eastern edge of the U.S., we have those gale wind warnings. In West Virginia, we've got severe winter storm watch and wind advisories. Same with Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania also has a extreme lake effect snow warning. Northeastern Ohio has a moderate winter weather advisory in addition to that same extreme lake effect snow warning. New York, you guys have the severe winter storm warning. You guys have the extreme lake effect snow warning, and your entire state's pretty much covered in wind advisories, both at moderate and moderate wind advisories. Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, that whole area up to Maine even, you guys have that moderate wind advisory. Massachusetts, you also have the severe high wind warning appearing in different counties. Along the Great Lakes, you guys have those gale wind warnings as well. Going back down to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, you guys also have those cold weather advisories. In southeastern, where do we go again? Wyoming. We have a severe high wind warning. Oh. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, air stagnation. See, sometimes they give different icons for air stagnation, like over here. See, it looks like the wind advisory. It's an air stagnation advisory, but up here they're doing an air stagnation advisory with the poor air quality mask, which makes more sense. Stagnant air conditions will have potential to trap pollutants near the ground with deteriorated air quality. This goes from today into Thursday. Air stagnation. We've been seeing that a lot lately in this area, which is surprising because California really should have had this advisory for like a month. Okay, interesting. So when we saw that glowing in California, that glow kind of backed off for a couple of days, and during those couple of days the fog let up and the air quality actually got better. But I'm seeing the glow at the level it was before, which I do not believe is correlating with those birds. Because as you know, we have checked. Maybe there was some kind of exacerbation due to the bird. I don't know. But it's definitely not there only because of the birds, because we've seen it. But now the fog is back. So I bet the AQI is not too great. Down in Southern California, we have a moderate wind advisory. But yeah, air stagnation, air stagnation, air stagnation. All right, we'll check extremes for the rest of the world. Extreme blizzard in Sanikaluk. Sorry. That place. That's a very odd looking island. Look at that. Definitely that area was all above water at some point. I'm sure that's why it looks like that. Anything? What do we got here? Heat wave. Extreme heat wave over in Brazil. And accumulated rainfall. What's down here? Extreme flash flood. Yeah, we have to watch out for Africa. We have to watch out for Africa. Let's see what's going on over there. Flash flooding. Let's see if any trails are coming in over there. And then the northwestern edge of Australia, extreme wind. Australia is the one place I've had a hard time getting a view of, not having that satellite active. In fact, maybe I will try seeing it again. So we have 3 tropical systems right now. We've got 99P, tropical depression. This one's new. We have Haley, category 1. Wow. I notice in this area, you can have really powerful storms forming even while they're hitting land. You don't see that on this side of the world. Grant is just being the best behaved tropical system. Look at this. It's like it doesn't care how messed up all the other tropical systems have been this year. Just are like, but this one's like, you know what? I'm going to pave my own path. I'm going to go straight. Okay? And I'm going to become a category 4 hurricane in December. It's going to happen. And you know what? It set its goal and it succeeded. Okay? Now it is category 3. It's headed for Madagascar. So let's hope that it breaks up into nothing before it hits anybody. Seriously, that's like the best straight line I've seen from any tropical system this year. And as that side of the world continues to get storms, we haven't. And it is due to the dust. Lots and lots of dust all year. Now there's also quite a bit of dust over here. I'm trying to figure out why. But that, alas, is the reason why we've got such terrible AQI here, I do believe, because when you go to the AQI, nothing else qualifies. PM 2.5 does correlate with dust. Yeah. It's gotta be the dust. See how perfectly it fits that AQI shape is just like the dust. Now this AQI is due to the fog. Well, this fog map might not show it, yeah. No fog. Fog. Never lets me go back in time for that. This is what it's predicting for tonight. Poor guys in California. What else do we have to show you? Fire danger. Drought monitoring. Extreme forecast. So extreme warm is like yellow and pink. Extreme cold are the blues. Colder or hotter than what should be present. It's relative to what we have seen throughout history, or the record of temperature. So it's super hot out here, cooler than normal, hotter than normal. Greenland's been a lot hotter than normal consistently. Hotter than normal, hotter than normal. They've got that heat wave there. Yeah, look at that. That's that This is the high pressure zone. Low pressure. th, 27th, 28th, 29th. This is predicted tomorrow and the next day. It's just gonna, look at that, just going up in a big circle. This is where the smoke is, supposedly. Smoke down here, smoke over here. This area is just constantly, it's like India with their AQI and their terrible, terrible pollution. Mexico just is like constantly on fire. Or that smoke is not coming from a wildfire or any kind of, naturally occurring fire. There's always smoke there. Always. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, I say. Florida, though, this is unique. It's been going for days. This is another map. I believe it's heat signatures. Wow. There's a lot going on over here. It's a lot of fires. A lot of fire going on over there. Yeah, that heat wave there. I'm curious to look at their trails because Brazil does get them, and I'm curious to see if it's been influencing anything. And what else do we have to show you? Oh yeah. It's the Normie News.
It's back to the Great Lakes and even the southern side, bringing some rain all the way down to the south. Snow on the Great Lakes, rather, is what I was trying to get at. Haley, it's a rough morning for anybody trying to travel. When you look at the radar and you look at the Great Lakes all the way down through portions of the southeast, you're like, man, this is going to be a mess. A good chunk of Maine dealing with some snow. However, some warmer air is nosing in, and that is creating some ice. And the ice is a concern for us all the way from portions of Albany, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and now into portions the higher elevations of Maine, but even seeing some over in through PA. And also some heavy rain moving through central PA right now, all the way down through the Appalachians. This system it's intensifying. You got some strong winds behind it. Haley, we've had blizzard warnings across portions of the Great Lakes right now.
This is the first real blizzard that's not just for an isolated area. This is for about 4 or 5 states have blizzard warnings at a time. A lot of those warnings are set to expire either now, they're already gone, which that we've seen that for the northern tier of Minnesota, or they'll expire at about 6 o'clock Central or 9 o'clock Central. So it's coming up. We'll get there. You're almost done. But the snow accumulated in a big way, about 5 to 8 inches. Some spots, especially with the blowing snow, got close to a foot.
Wild. And we're not done for the Great Lakes, especially Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Here's some of the blizzard warnings you were talking about, winter storm warnings as well, especially downwind of the lakes due to the lake effect kicking in. And then the visibility has dropped across portions of the Great Lakes. Chicago has been about 3/4 of a mile for at least an hour, probably longer than that this morning. So the airports are going to have problems. Getting yourself in the car is going to have problems. Look at the wind gusts, 65 miles per hour. And it is a cold wind behind it as well. So the wind chill, I'm telling you what, it's just bites you out there.
Yeah, that wind chill is going to be a real big talker coming up. I mean, temperatures are going to be dropping 20 degrees from where they were. And then you add on the wind chill, it could be feeling well below 0.
Yeah, watch for power outages too.
Yep. Over 50 cars, multiple semi-trucks, were involved in a pileup on I-75 in Michigan amid dangerous winter storm. Wow. I think those are all the lane and ramp closures due to crashes. Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
What a weekend. Winter busting down the doors, bringing snow, wind, brutal cold. Travel's been an issue all weekend long with hundreds of delays, hundreds of cancellations. And today could fall in line just like Saturday and Sunday.
And if it's not the snow impacting Chicago, it's the cold, right? A 4-degree feels like. But we're not talking about the temperatures. We're talking about travel and everything that can impact it. We're welcoming in founder and CEO of PointsPath, Julian Keel. Julian, thanks for joining us. We're gearing up for another holiday, right? I think for me, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. These are the three I got to get through.
The trifecta.
It's the trifecta. And this is for many one of the...
I'm not interested. Monster Lake effect snowstorm set to dump feet of snow this week. We talked about that. Remember the extreme lake effect over by the Great Lakes? Yeah. Wow, 8 to 24 inches over here. 18 to 24 inches over here. And we've got, looks like maybe even 24 to 36, or is that 36 to 48? No, I think that's 24 to 36 inches. Lots of snow. This is talking about that earthquake. I'm sorry, tornado. No volume. Look at all that debris.
It still produced wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. So not only do we have the tornado on the ground right now, we also have this area of concern stretching from not quite as
the dog was like, "What the heck are you people doing? Get off the road!" You know, I did forget to click on the earthquake thing. And they were talking about how in Kentucky there was a 3.1 magnitude earthquake. Interesting. It's not near, it's not a typical place you would see those. It is interesting. Actually, interesting. What time? UTC, 8 o'clock UTC. Wouldn't that be interesting if it happened around the time we saw that rippled radar with that hurricane going through? I don't think that's the same time because this was 12:28, 8 o'clock UTC. I think this was well before that storm, but I do want to see the storm in relation to this earthquake. You know how we've been seeing some pretty crazy storms happening around earthquakes? That's odd. All right, so we're going to go to 12:28, 8 o'clock UTC. All right, wait, so I went to ChatGPT and I gave it a picture of this because this time code's interesting. This is, I wanted to make sure I had the right one. Timestamp shows this to convert UTC 8 UTC. Oh, add 8 hours. So it would have been 1747 UTC. 1747 UTC on the 28th. Let's go to that. All right, so here we are. This is when it happened. The storm interesting, right at that moment, this tower went out. So right as that earthquake happened, this tower right here stopped transmitting to the server. Came back online about 20 or well, about a half an hour, a little bit more later. And then that significant storm happened, or that, you know, that row happened. With the most significant actually being closest to the epicenter of that earthquake. Right here, right here. Huh. We really do have to pay close attention to these earthquakes. It's like right in the middle. Yeah, interesting. You know, most of the earthquakes that I see, I don't think are suspicious because they'll usually occur within like the normal areas. But maybe I shouldn't discount them. Maybe we should, if we ever see crazy rippled radar, if we ever see a crazy weather event happening from something interesting, you know, something abnormal, we should check the earthquake and see if there was one, maybe over 3 magnitude within a few hours of it happening, and what the proximity was, what the distance and time was. Maybe there's a pattern there that I'm missing. Look at this, Tanzania. Isn't this where we have the extreme wind warning? No, extreme flood warning. Right? Might be a little south. Yeah, Tanzania here. And then they've got the heavy rain right there. It is odd to see an earthquake in Africa. We have seen it. We have seen it. Remember when I did that episode where I was comparing every earthquake in the area and they all seemed to be right in the identical spot? I think this is a little bit east of where we were seeing it before. I think it was in Zambia before. .6 in Taiwan, yes, 2 days ago. Look at that. And look at here. I think I just saw. There we go. There it is. There's a video on it. Nope, not a video. Magnitude 3.1 earthquake rattles Kentucky. No damage reported amid reports of shaking. Struck around 12:47 p.m. about 6 miles east-northeast of Lancaster, Kentucky, at a depth of 8.5 miles. Really? Range does not typically produce sizable damage, just shaking. Thankfully, that is all that's been reported. All right. I want to check this area out because this is the one area that I can't really see. And what stinks is this filter doesn't really help me see trails. See, this is what I need to see. So it won't show me over here though, but not seeing any evidence of trails in this area at least. There's a lot of trails mixed in here. We'll get a better view of that though. Trails heading into Hawaii looks like. But Australia, hold on, let's turn. No. Oh, I can't really see what's going on over here, unfortunately. But you know what I can see?
I see the lack of a hurricane here. What are we looking at here? There's supposed to be a hurricane here. Looks like might be something over there, but that's weird. Wonder what the this is 1800. Oh, yesterday. We gotta go to now, guys. There it is. That's weird. It's weird it was showing me 2 days ago. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with this. I haven't used this map all that much. Okay. So this is just like the general one, the big one. We'll zoom in areas, but I'm just trying to see what I can see from here. Looks like there's trails in there. Again, we'll be able to get a clearer view in a bit. Definitely lots of trails out there, man. You can really see those even with it being blurry. Look at all those thick black lines. Over here. Yeah. Lots of trails out in the Pacific. And we're getting a big view of over here. Yes, look at all those trails. My goodness, look at all those. Wow. What? Those look weird. How these are coming together there like that. And I definitely can't wait to get a better view of that. Look at that. What is that? What? What is this? What's happening here? Do we have wind coming this way and coming this way? Wow, that's wicked. Let's look at the wind out there. Okay, so yeah, right around here, we got wind coming this way and wind coming this way and kind of... So wind pushing towards, but stagnating right here. See what I mean by the air stagnation? They're talking about air stagnation over here with those warnings, but there's more movement here than there is here, or even, well, I guess over here there's a little bit more movement, but yeah, these areas must take it more seriously. But yeah, so that is colliding. Yeah, so over here we've got wind moving up, but also the wind moving in the opposite direction, probably at different altitudes. But man, look how crazy that ends up looking. Look at these walls that are forming here. That's one of the craziest things I've seen on radar and satellite. Colliding. Can I move this? There we go. I want to get the timestamp for when that happens. Nice. Yeah, lots of trails over here. All right, let's get some we're getting closer, and then we'll zoom in even more. Lots of trails here. Yeah, because I know Slider's done, or gone for now. I have to use it like this. Lots and lots of trails here. Probably a lot of trails in here too, just judging by, yeah. Look at all those. We'll zoom in and get a better view. Going off here. Lots of trails coming in off here. All right, now we got our zoom ins. We're looking at trails coming in Washington, going into Idaho. Lots of trails coming into California. Look at all those. Look at all of that. This is going to be in the fog here, guys. You can even see the fog here. It's during the day. That was during the day, I mean. Lots of trails. Trails. We already talked about those. Looks like there's trails coming in down here. When we switch the view, I'll be able to see a little bit better. Look at all that. Trails coming in from Canada. Trails moving through this whole area. Look at all these trails, my goodness. Yeah. Going through Arizona, New Mexico. Looks like Mexico does have them, and they're heading into Texas too. Woo-wee. All right, let's look at the northern part of this map first. Yeah, lots of trails over here. This was that system moving through. Yeah, it was loaded with trails. See all those lines? Those black lines? You can really see them on the outskirts and all through here. All right, let's check the bottom part. All those. Wow, look at all those. Those are really moving through the area that those tornadoes were appearing. All through here, my goodness. Big X's. So many. We'll check out. I mean, look at all that going through Louisiana. Check out the northern part. Yeah, look at all those black lines coming through. Black lines. Black lines. Going through North Carolina, Texas. Ooh, Kentucky. Look at all those. Oh my gosh, this whole area is loaded with them. Look at that. Look at this. It's like a plume. You know, there was a comment about, two comments actually, about this pink dust looking cloud that headed through this area. I wonder if this was it. Wow, look at all those. Let's see. Where was that? Nuts. I'm so grateful that I went through loading up all these days ago and saved all the tabs so I can just click one button and they all open up for me. 'Cause it is not easy pulling these up. All over here. What is nice about this though is that they load way faster than the NOAA slider. And they're zoomed in pretty nicely. I don't like how people don't get, it's not easy for them to orient themselves. And also, this only covers 2 satellites, so I'm missing out on a lot of the world. So that NOAA slider needs to come back online. Obviously, so many trails coming all through here. Look at all the evidence on the outskirts. It's harder to see it through here. I can see them. They're very faint, but they're loaded with them. You can really see the evidence on the outskirts because that's where it's more clear. Ooh, thousands. Absolutely thousands. Coming all through here. Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina. This is just a view of the North Atlantic. You've got Greenland, you've got Canada over here. This is Maine, New York, Pennsylvania. I'm just getting every view I can. Lots and lots of trails up here by Greenland. Remember, Greenland has excessive heat, relative heat. Remember on the extreme forecast showing the extreme temperatures? Greenland's been consistently too hot. And I do notice that they get a lot of trails. Lots and lots of trails in here. There's Europe, so there's Spain and Portugal. I think that's France and England and Ireland and all that over here, all Europe. Trails. So when they trail out here, this stuff just comes right back. Lots of trails going through North Carolina, all through Tennessee, Kentucky. We already talked about those, but yeah, we're seeing a lot of them down south too. They're everywhere. Now, I would expect to see trails over Florida because Florida's got a lot of particulate in the air right now from those wildfires, and that creates pretty good conditions to create persistent contrails because that moisture clings onto those particulates, but we're not seeing any actually. Yeah, we already talked about this, but I guess I'll look down here. Yeah. This is really looking at a very northern view. Yeah, lots of trails here. Lots of trails going on up here. This is Washington and Canada. This is the Pacific Ocean right here. Lots of trails over here. There's Alaska right there. Yeah, it's loaded in here. Thousands of them. There's Alaska. You can see a bunch of the trails headed through here. They could be getting... Oh, a lot of these didn't load, I guess. Oh, hello. They could be getting a ton of them in the form of a haze. So we'd have to see a different view of what's coming over. Over top. I just realized the other ones were not automatically updating, so they were not covering the last few hours of the day, the last half of the day, actually. In fact, let me reload this one just in case. So because I want to get the updated one. They're all pretty darn accurate though, because they are very, very recent. This is just even more recent. Lots of trails in here. So now I know I have to manually reload all of them, even though they automatically do it most of the time. Yeah, so they're still moving through here, still moving through here, still moving through here. This is that system that just passed through. Yep, still going through here. Looks like quite a bit of them coming down from Canada, but the trails that were here look like they have mostly moved on for now. Just to get it on record, I just reloaded them all. I'll scroll down. This is moving into, in fact, yeah. All right, I just loaded the most recent frame. Looks like they're over there still. Yep, they're definitely coming through here, coming through Mexico, moving through these southern states. Yeah, they're still moving through these states up here. That's the most recent frame, Southern California. Different view. They're loaded in here. Loaded in here, very messy looking. Several in Southern California, right where that terrible AQI is, actually right around here. Loaded in here. Yep. You can see them in here as well. This area is clear. Yeah, so thankfully a lot of this is cleared out. It's much more south. Lots of trails here. Most recent frame. Yep. Still continuing on. Florida's getting quite a bit. This area is under a high wind, no, cold freeze advisory right here. This is where all those trails are headed too. Yep, those trails are still continuing out here. This was that weird view. Just want to get the most recent. Yeah, there's still trails in there. And up here. Yeah, so right now Florida's got a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them up north. This is where that freeze warning is. All over the place. Wow. Nope, still continuing all through here. No change there over the last half a day. Cuba's been getting a lot lately. Very odd. Very, very odd. There's something going on over there. Most recent frame from here, yes. Oof, man, we'll have to zoom in here. It looks like a ton of trails over here. Yeah, there's definitely trails in here and through here. And now we're just about caught up to where we left off. Yeah, looks like a lot of trails there. I do want to see that a little bit better. And this was Alaska. We already got this. All right. So I updated all these to make sure that they are covering the most recent hours of the day. Although I am happy I got the other ones because those are now, we got further back into yesterday than we would have. Lots of trails here heading in. This is loaded with trails. Yeah, lots of trails right here. Lots and lots of them over here. Look at all those. And trails over here. That weird phenomena is still sort of occurring right here. Look at all that. Everything colliding. Not as weird as it was when I... Yeah, see, that's the tail end of it happening right there. Whoa. It's like pouring into each other right here. So many trails at the time that was going on. Look at all that. Looks like a lot of trails are in here. Moving through, so Hawaii, you're probably seeing them. Look at that. Big swirly storm. Look at that. Oh yeah, Hawaii. This is nice. I can get really close. Look at all these black lines mixed in. Now remember, they have had a volcano erupting, which means there's a lot of particulate in the air, so that can create conditions in which persistent contrails can exist. So it's hard to say if these are just natural contrails or suspicious trails. Yeah, Cuba's getting them right off the coast too, and right overhead, starting at nighttime. This had just started very recently that Cuba is getting them right overhead. Could be a temperature thing, of course. Get them right here. I forgot where this is. I forgot. This is the one I cannot remember. I think this is I think Florida's like over here, and these are down below. I have to pull that up. Okay. Yeah. All right, it's right here. Here we go. Mexico. Yeah, all these trails are starting right here. Looks like a lot are heading off of Texas, man. Look at all that. All these colliding. So much going on here. Lots and lots of trails going in here. Lots of trails happening over here. Going into Mexico and the Gulf of America. Central America. South America. This is the southern portion of South America. Looks like we have some trails heading into Chile and Argentina. But not a lot. They could just be contrails. I only see a couple of them. Ah, this is the one. I think South America's over here. I can't remember where this one is. All right, how do we see this again? What the heck is this? All right, and this is how I will see what's going on over here. Yep, we have trails in here. They're faint, they're lower in altitude. Looks like they're over here in Vrasha, as usual, especially on the western side. There are trails here. Whoa. Yep, there's trails in here. The European brand of trail. It's a little different. Definitely in here. Yep, we already said they were in there. Ooh, baby, I love the way every day. Whoa. Looks like there are trails in here. Those could be contrails. Let's go and see. They don't let you hit play here, but I can click and skip an hour. Looks like there's some trails here. But they are so faint. They could very well just be contrails. Which is not common to see over Africa. Now, we cannot see this whole area. This is the area I cannot. Try to see what I can. So this is where over here we get a better view, and up here too, even. Yep, trails, blurry, but there's trails. Be a couple there, probably contrails. Dang, I wish I could see. You know, some people think that this area right around here, there's this enormous piece of land that spans, I forgot how many time zones, like 8 time zones, something like that. That is not available to see on the map. It's an interesting theory, interesting rabbit hole. Go check it out. Something to do with the old Google, the way Google Earth used to be. There's like 8 time zones here that were like crushed together, made invisible. Very interesting indeed. All right, guys. Holy moly. It'll be nice when the NOAA slider's back up. However, it is nice zooming in that far and getting even crisper images, actually, but not easy to navigate, and it's missing a whole lot of different satellites. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.